This is the America Freedom Press. Tonight, we bring you breaking news from the volatile region of the Middle East, where Israel has once again entered Lebanon, this time for the third ground operation in recent decades. What does this mean for Israel and the region at large? Will history repeat itself, or will Israel's leaders manage to avoid the costly mistakes of the past? To answer these questions, we'll dive deep into the history of Israel's previous conflicts in Lebanon, their ambitions, their failures, and the lessons learned. Buckle up, because tonight's story is not for the faint of heart. It all began on the night of October 1st, as the Israeli Defense Forces surged into southern Lebanon with a mission to crush Hezbollah's infrastructure, a network of bunkers, rocket launchers, and command centers that have been menacing Israeli territory for months. The stakes? Higher than ever. In 1982, Israel launched its first major ground operation in Lebanon, Operation Peace for Galilee. With a mission to eradicate the Palestine Liberation Organization's bases in southern Lebanon, Israel's entry seemed swift and decisive. But by the time the dust settled, it wasn't just the PLO that was weakened. The Lebanese civil war, multiple militias, and the deadly massacre of Palestinian refugees in Sabra and Shatila refugee camps stained Israel's reputation. The war turned into a quagmire. Israel became ensnared in a conflict it could barely control, leading to nearly 900 Israeli casualties and worldwide condemnation. The UN called for an immediate withdrawal, and Israeli forces found themselves trapped in a security zone, a zone that quickly became a breeding ground for a new, more dangerous enemy, Hezbollah, a paramilitary force forged in the fires of the Lebanese civil war and hardened by decades of conflict. Fueled by Iranian support and a ruthless determination to challenge Israel, Hezbollah rose to power, making southern Lebanon their stronghold. Fast forward to 2006, Operation Just Reward. Israel thought it had learned from its past missteps, but within hours of re-entering Lebanon, they were met by a cunning enemy, an enemy well prepared for a long, grinding war of attrition. Hezbollah unleashed guerrilla tactics from an elaborate network of underground bunkers and tunnels, ambushing Israeli troops and inflicting heavy casualties. 120 Israeli soldiers lost their lives, and by the war's end, Hezbollah's infrastructure was battered but not broken. On the contrary, Hezbollah's prestige soared across the Arab world. They stood defiant against one of the region's most formidable armies, declaring victory despite their losses. And in Israel, the questions began: was the price worth it? Who was to blame for this perceived failure? The Winograd Commission's verdict was damning. Israel's leaders, Prime Minister Ehud Olmert, Defense Minister Amir Peretz, and Chief of Staff Dan Halutz, were all criticized for rash decisions, lack of preparation, and flawed strategy. Yet, for Hezbollah, the war cemented their reputation as a formidable force, attracting more funding, more fighters, and crucially, more power. Now, Israel is back for a third time. The goals are the same: to cripple Hezbollah, to restore security along the northern border, and to dismantle the terror infrastructure that threatens Israeli civilians daily. But Hezbollah isn't what it was in 1982 or even in 2006. It's a battle-hardened force with experience gained from the Syrian civil war and extensive support from Iran. The international community, however, remains divided. For some, Israel's operation is a necessary move for self-defense. For others, it's an aggressive campaign to overshadow Netanyahu's many problems inside Israel. It risks plunging the region into another prolonged conflict. And so once again, Israel finds itself at a crossroads: victory or another misstep in the dark labyrinth of Middle Eastern warfare. What Israel is counting on is the unwavering support of the Biden administration to aid its military and help it withstand the mounting international pressure over its human rights record in the war in Gaza and Lebanon. Joe Biden and Antony Blinken will go down in history as the most pro-Israel President and Secretary of State in the history of America. Despite their public utterances, Biden and Blinken have resisted every effort of the international community to hold Israel responsible for the indiscriminate killing of civilians in Gaza and Lebanon, or force them to accept a ceasefire. In fact, since October 7th, the U.S. has spent $250 million on military aid to the Israeli Defense Force. The U.S. aid includes 2,000-pound bunker buster bombs, which the IDF is using to demolish civilian areas in Gaza and Lebanon. With the lessons of the past looming large, Israel's leaders know that winning on the battlefield is only half the struggle. To secure true victory, they must win the battle of politics, public opinion, and international diplomacy. Only then can they ensure that the sacrifices made will not have been in vain. Stay tuned as we follow every development in this unfolding story. You've been watching America Freedom Press, where we bring you the truth, raw and unfiltered. Good night and stay vigilant. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Stay blessed.